If there's one thing I've done consistently on this channel, it has to be trashing generic tropes. There's just something about anime creators following a generic plotline that makes you go, seen it before. But despite my cynical hatred for such writing, there was a time when generic plotlines made me roll over and giggle like a 4-year-old girl. Naruto, Bleach, the ever so popular One Piece, Dragon Ball. Once upon a time, these shows led many people toward a better future, curing people's cancer, depression, poverty, world hunger, wars, whilst replacing them with cartoon addiction, culture wars, and the deadly conflicts between tsundere lovers and the down bad yandere lovers. Forget election rigging and domestic insurrections. This is the real information the government doesn't want you to see. That nonsense of an intro was to let you know that My Hero Academia is a generic masterpiece, and I don't want anyone going, but you hate generic. The story starts off with a world where most people have superpowers and some people don't. And pause. Keep in mind this is a family-friendly show, and any of the things that could go wrong in the real world with powers like invisibility, mind control, restraining with chains, memory erasing are not applicable here, so stop your thoughts from running. Deku is the MC. He cries all the time, is quirkless, started with nothing in life except a good home, food on the table every day, no diseases, no tragedies, in other words nothing like a generic shonen MC at all. He wants to become a hero, because that's a full-time profession here, but due to his quirklessness, is forced to become an NPC until he saves his dickhead friend, demonstrating more balls than all of the other heroes combined, catching the attention of Japanese Captain America All Might. All Might decides to give his powers to Deku, because out of all the people in the world, clearly he's the most qualified, turning him into the overpowered MC we all wanted to see. What? You thought I wasn't gonna trash everyone's favorite scenes? Have you read the title of this video? He gets into his favorite school despite technically failing the entrance exams. I mean, if you're gonna make shit up about how cool Deku was at the end, saving his waifu, giving him rescue points, then what's the point of all the other rules? You can't just get impressed at the last second and go, yeah, he seems cool, when it wasn't specified before. Rather than plot armor, I'm starting to think All Might's just playing politics in the background. After being accepted, he meets lots of other students with cool quirks, and it took me a while to see it, but only a handful of people actually have good quirks, whilst others are just plain useless. Like even with the students that got accepted, navel laser? What the fuck? Is that more useful than say an AK-47? How is it going to help you against a villain good in hand-to-hand combat, or someone who the laser doesn't affect? I mean, pop off? Mineta, you disgusting inbred. You're just a premium chewing gum. How's that gonna help you against someone who can, I don't know, disintegrate anything into dust with a single touch? Deku's mom's quirk is to make small objects fly to herself. If that was more powerful, I would understand, but since it's not, it's nothing you can't do just by reaching your hand out and grabbing stuff yourself. The discrimination with quirks is real with this one, not to mention the disadvantages that come with having some of these. One for All is so overpowered that it's not that Deku is the MC, it's literally anyone that has it. Kinda kills the whole anyone can be a hero vibe. I love the school setting though. Even if we all hated school as children, we have to admit it was the only time we were surrounded by so many people our ages. At this school, they do basic things like make friends, fight each other in Mortal Kombat, have little crushes on each other. The best thing about this kind of setting is how creative they can make the interactions of people with crazy powers and the insane fight scenes that we can see. This leads to one of the strong points of the show. The plot armor, animation quality, which has continued to go up episode after episode, season after season, and don't get me started on plot armor or you're gonna hear a frustrating rant about your favorite show. Okay fine, I'll do it. How can the League of Villains get fucked by a bunch of high schoolers? It doesn't just happen once, but happens multiple times throughout the series. Like, guys, what the actual fuck is wrong with you? You're calling yourself the League of Villains but getting bent over by a bunch of hormonal teenagers. Maybe it's about time you lot find a new career choice because I can't take this shit anymore. These guys are 16-year-olds and you're losing to them. What are you doing with your lives? I don't care how talented the kids are, or how trained they are, or how much support they have. They're literal children. They're fighting these allegedly evil, superpowered, maniacal, psychopathic, genocidal terrorists who want to destroy and burn everything and tear everything down for evil reasons like pleasure or to create an oppressive society, and they're getting destroyed by kids who don't even pay taxes. This is your fucking level, you imbecilic, cocksucking, third-rate ass villains. What are you doing? This is how you're gonna become a top-level villain? You lot can disintegrate living things, burn everything down, overpower All Might when he's not being a tryhard, but you can't beat a couple of kids who for the most part have garbage quirks or don't know how to use them or have little practice with them. And you can't even reduce the number of students in the classroom by 1 or 2? You disgusting, useless, pathetic sorry excuse for villains. Fucking pricks. Good job by the students though, they're always clutching up when they need to, especially the big three, Plot Armor Expert 1, Daddy Issues Expert 2, and Anger Issues Expert 3. One of my favorite arcs from the show is absolutely the tournament arc. You know I love a good well-planned, well-thought-through tournament arc between students. What sets this tournament arc apart from others is that rather than just punching or kicking, the unique varieties of quirks allows for great sequences. Can you imagine what would have happened if Minato had to 1v1 Bakugo in the combat part of the tournament though? Of course the creators aren't going to do that, because it would expose the wild and unfair way in which these quirks were designed. Respect to them for doing Uraraka vs Bakugo though. That made me respect her as a character quite a bit, making her more than just a love interest for the MC type person. They didn't really do anything with her later though, so it was kind of a disappointment. It's pretty wild that after all these dangerous interactions with villains, the parents of the students are just going, I hope my kid's making new friends today. They transitioned UA into a boarding school for the students to keep them safe, watch over them, help them train, etc, etc. But wasn't that where all the incidents are happening? I don't remember Deku and Bakugo getting constantly involved in these situations prior to entering high school, but it's still better than making it a boring Boruto style show, so whatever. I was thinking how goddamn generic and one-directional the show is, like the anime version of Marvel, but oh my god, it's so fucking entertaining, I don't really give a shit. DC's more serious and mature than Marvel, but we like watching the Avengers more because despite the fact that the good guys cause more damage to people and their properties than any villain could, at least we don't have to suffer through the damage and pain of shit writing. Generic themes became mainstream for a reason. They were so popular that everybody started doing them. There's honestly nothing unpredictable about My Hero Academia, except for how the manga ended. Look, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but I don't care what anyone says, it really was not the plus ultra satisfying masterpiece it had the potential to be. The point is that you as the viewer don't come into this anime to be surprised or shocked. You're here to feel excited about seeing something you are 99% sure you're gonna see. Is Deku going to slowly power up and maximize his strength and speed? Fuck yes. Are Bakugo and Todoroki gonna suck each other off like all the fan art that we've seen by delusional yaoi lovers? Fuck no. It's never gonna happen, you inbred twats. I know MHA lovers get a bad rap for being toxic parasites on the world who suck the life out of everybody they interact with. Of course, me being the one who's described them exactly like that on numerous occasions, I'm starting to think only a handful of fans are actually like that. Because how can you watch this show and not become a fan? I'm a fanboy and I spread positivity and love every single video. You just have to look behind the layers of shit talking, hatred, disgust and cussing. You know what I really love about the show? The characters. They're interesting and make for fun dynamics whilst having very real flaws to their personalities. They're not suffering through cataclysmic, life-ending attacks every day, well most days, and have real problems and desires. Jiro doesn't want to disappoint her parents by choosing a different path than them. Basically every Asian kid's main fear. Todoroki's family situation is actually fucked up and insanely tragic. He could easily be the main character. Deku early on realizes he might just not have what it takes to become who he really wants to become. Minato is a horny prick. Okay, clearly all of these problems aren't equivalent, but you get the point. I'm not even going to question why the principal of UA is a smart rat with sadistic tendencies, but it's fun to watch. One negative though. If you show this anime to your friend who's never watched anime before, you won't contradict his annoying claims that anime is a cartoon for little kids, because there isn't a single show out there that comes closer to proving that dickhead's theory than this one. We all know this isn't a mature show. You're not going to get girls ripping off their clothes because they ate a really tasty dish. Thanks Food Wars, but you do get to see cool shit anyway. Endeavor redeems himself by fucking up, I kid you not, one of the best antagonist type thing I've ever seen, the fucking Nomu, and taking the spot as the #1 hero. Because success in your professional field makes up for years and years of domestic abuse apparently. Yeah, fuck that guy. I don't care how many cool scenes he gives us to commentate over, I'm never gonna like him. You wanna know what sets MHA apart from every other modern show? It's one of the few that has a long story, has multiple seasons, and has maintained its quality all throughout. Most of the shows we consume today are like random bouts of cocaine we ingest consistently without being able to savor the feelings for a long period of time. Most shows today are one season hit wonders. We start something, it ends. The creators make some money, and we all dip off looking for the next explosive piece of bullshit. I miss the days where we could get invested into shows for long periods of time, sacrificing our daily lives, social lives, contact with the outside world, and forget that we're people with actual jobs. Now we do all that, but with M&Ms instead of tender steaks. Wait, what the fuck was I talking about? I want these ships to sail, man. We've spent years and years figuring out who's gonna get with who, what's gonna happen with All Might and Deku, how the creators are gonna ruin our hopes and dreams with disgustingly trash endings and unsatisfactory conclusions And will MHA fans ever become tolerable, compassionate, and non-degenerate members of society? Fuck, I did it again. Honestly speaking, I don't want this show to end. I know it has to because it's set in high school and everyone has to grow up, but I really wish they didn't have to. I'm truly gonna miss these guys. It's the first show where nobody is actually disposable. Even whilst the villains are pathetic inbreds, it's still nice to see them appear again and again just to get railed by the students. I'm gonna miss all the cliched lessons we learned about heroism, hope, finding your own way, and genuine redemption. These characters for the most part are incredibly lovable, and it's one of those shows where, just like the old school long-running animes, we grew up with these people. Many stopped watching after the first few seasons, but many also didn't. Every character has a story. Every character is charming in their own way. Every character brings to light a certain aspect of us onto the screen, and that's why seeing all of them grow together through extreme tribulations is so fascinating, keeping us hooked every step of the way. It is, technically speaking, an anime that can be enjoyed by younger ages, but it's also an anime where older people can relive their childhood days. Who wouldn't want a cool superpower and fight villains whilst going to an academy with like-minded people and grow together? The entire show, every single episode and every single season is built to bring back the memories of us when we were younger and wanted to have an adventure. From being quirkless to having incredible powers, from facing powerful villains to being supported by the people you admired for so long, from taking invaluable lessons and unbelievable sights, all surrounded by lots of people that love you. This show is a long and astonishing adventure. Overall, I give the show an 11 out of 10. It was a fun ride filled with incredible, unimaginable emotions. Till next time.